All right, so now we're going to add a new variable that keeps track of our laps. So we're just going to go on the backdrop and we're going to make a new variable called laps. All right, so and again, this one wants to be, we want to have this one ticked as well because we want to display how many laps have gone by. So again, remember just the laps and the time are the ones ticked, the other ones are not. Now, what we want to do, first of all, let me just place this in a little bit better place. This is a nice place over here, or you could just place it over here. Either way is fine. I like it over here, but up to you. And for this one, I'm just going to leave the laps here. I'm not going to do the same thing as the time because we need some information here telling us like what this number is, right? So the timer makes sense. It's easy to spot that it's going up every second, so you immediately know that's the timer. But for this one, it's good to have that laps information there so you know what this number exactly is. And what we're gonna do is we're first gonna make sure we set the laps to 1 because first when the game starts, we're on the first lap. So we're just gonna set it to 1 at first, and then we're going to go over here on the car and we're gonna go to this checkpoint thing. Because remember, when we get to the last checkpoint, that's when we finish an entire lap. And every time we finish an entire lap, we need to do two things. First of all, we need to check and see if this was our third lap, because if it is, we need to finish the game. But if it wasn't, then we need to do the second thing, which is we need to add one lap and also set a new lap where the checkpoint goes back to the first one. All right, so we're going to come over here. Remember when we had if checkpoint equals 14, and inside that, we're going to have another if. And this one is going to be an if else that we're going to use because we need to check for two different things, right? So what we're going to do, I'm just going to drop this over here. And we're going to leave this set finish to 1 in the if part, not the else part. Because what we're going to say in the if is we're going to say if this was our third lap. So we're just going to check. We're just go over here to operators. Say if laps equals 3. When we get to the 14th checkpoint, or when checkpoint gets to 14, essentially, then we need to set finish to 1 because we need to tell the game to finish, right? If not, then else we need to first add 1 to the current lap. Change lap by 1. So add 1 to whatever the lap we are at. And also set the checkpoint back to the first one. Because remember, when we get to checkpoint, when checkpoint equals 14, that means we've got to the 13th one, we've added another one, so now we're at 14. Now we need to say, whoa, wait a second. We don't have a 14th one. If the game hasn't finished and we're just going to the next lap, then we need to set the checkpoint back to the first one so that we can have a brand new lap going on. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. So these are the modifications we make over here. And that's pretty much all you need to do. Okay, so just to go through one more time, we just define the laps, we set it to 1 at first, and then on the car, we just check and see if it's our third lap, we finish the game. If it's not our third lap, in the else case, we add 1 to the lap, whatever it is, and we go back to the first checkpoint. All right, so let's try it out and see if this is working properly. So we start with the first lap, very nice. Whoopsie daisy, let's go over there. There we go. And what we're going to check for is we're going to see if the lap goes up by 1. We go to the second lap once we get to the finish line. So we're just going to go, whoopsie daisy. This is this is much harder than it seems. There we go. There we go. There we go. We come over here. Go over there. And that's the first lap. As you see, the number goes up to 2. Now we're going to try and see if we can get to the third lap, and then we're going to see if the game finishes after we finish the third lap. There we go. Over here. Over there. that's the third one. And after this, the game needs to finish. So again, if the counter goes to 4 instead of the game finishing, then you know that you have something to fix, because after this, the game needs to finish right here. So let's check and see if that works properly. Let me go over there and let's see what happens. There we go. The game finishes and my time was 123 and the timer stops as well and the lap counter stops as well. Very nice. So definitely not the best time that you can possibly do. You'll definitely be able to beat me right here. I'm not really great at this game, but maybe with a little bit of practice, I could do a little bit better. But essentially, that's the idea behind it. Okay, so just double check, make sure everything's working properly, make sure the lap counter is working properly, and that the game finishes after the third lap. And of course, the timer stops and gives you the correct information. All right, so just double check all of that stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.